Wednesday Glow, getting tuned in, tapped in, and turned on by life itself. And today you can see I'm not in my home. I do have my mask because we always practice social distancing, but I'm wearing purple in honor of Hot Purple. You're going, what the heck is Hot Purple? Well, I'm going to have you follow me while I introduce you to an amazing man that brought a lot of wonderful goodness into our home, health-wise, environment-wise, and that is this wonderful gentleman from Hot Purple, Gary.
Good morning.
Gary, could you tell us your full name and what you do here?
Yeah, my name is Gary Moore. I am a sales rep for Hot Purple Energy. I go into homes and basically go over people's energy needs and kind of consult on what can help save them energy, but also to fit the right solar system and for installation and all that fun stuff.
So have a seat, Gary, because I'm fascinated by a couple of things. One, your logo, it's purple. It's called Hot Purple. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it was named by, the owner, Nate. He is an amazing guy. He has a daughter that they were painting one time, I guess, and what happened was she was like, oh, like hot pink? I made Hot Purple. And he was like, oh my gosh, I've got to make that into my business name. So 10 plus years later, this is where we are, Hot Purple Energy for solar, yeah.
Great, and so tell us your passion and your owner's passion for the environment and for getting into the solar energy arena. Kind of give us a background on that.
I went to school to be an electrician. I've been in sales for many years, in-home sales, and really just moving into solar was basically kind of evolution for me, the right way to go. I am huge into saving the planet, and I really want, clean energy and to help people and animals. But on top of that, with the way that the rates are going and things, I want people to be aware of, what's important and how to get away from those crazy numbers that we deal with every day.
So clean energy, _clean.
Yes.
Okay. Define clean energy in a very simple layman's term, and how the solar panel is probably one of the best ways to do that.
Well, clean energy is it's energy produced by either by natural resources like wind, water, solar, things like that. So,
hi, Greg. You're watching. We've got somebody watching already, and we've got a couple other friends. So
hi, Greg.
Thank you so much. So before we show people something, because there's quite a few little things that the average individual doesn't know, I'm going to have you look at these pictures over here, Warren, and we're going to see how the solar panels fit into these pictures. So why don't we just go briefly picture by picture, and you just tell us a little bit about it.
This is actually a home that we did in Palm Springs. It's from Dwell Magazine. This and this one right here, a spread. That is an architecturally significant home that you cannot see the panels on. That's what we strive to do, is make installations that are discreet, clean, and basically invisible. This is a higher up shot where you can see just the tight line right there, but we have very compact, clean sight lines and installations. And as right here, this is an interior garage installation, just showing, we open up walls, we'll inlay conduit, we really make it to where it basically looks like it's...
And I've got one of those, which we're going to come back to, but I think what we would like people to see, Warren, why don't we walk over, cameraman and I, we're going to walk over to this side of the room, because this was one of the things that fascinated me. I never knew what a solar panel even looked like. So maybe you can tell us what makes up one and how they're installed.
Yeah, so this is a solar panel. This is actually a different type of solar panel, but you have the solar cells that basically the UV energy or UV rays hit, and it converts it to electricity, runs it down these wires right here. This solar panel is for shade structures, typically, like our shade structure out here, where you can put it outside and it'll collect energy and still provide shade for you.
So Gary, if someone wanted just to buy a solar panel, say, oh, I'm going to put this up myself, can they do that? Or is this something that requires maybe like a special certification and knowledge by the state of California, or how does all that come down?
I mean, anybody can do anything to their home, but really it's not suggested to do so. You really need to know what you're doing, what you're working with. A lot of times people think that a size system is going to work for them, but they really don't know how to calculate those sizes or anything. So, and then, with roof work and electrical work, it's not something that I would ever suggest someone doing on their own.
Okay.
You need to get a professional to go do it for you because it's very dangerous work being on a roof and dealing with high voltages.
Okay, so that was going to be another question because I was telling Warren, we used to, when we were younger, clean our own rain gutters, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hi, Randy. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Randy. So I could see myself wanting to go up and, I'm going to clean my rain gutters, or maybe I'll clean my panels too, but that is not something you would suggest either, right? I'm assuming.
You can clean your panels, but
Okay.
I would never suggest it because, again, it's being on your roof.
Can you get electrocuted?
Not from cleaning the panels.
Oh, okay.
Typically, people would use a hose maybe to spray them down, but we actually offer a service where we send people out and clean the panels once a year. But we'll do a full system diagnostic, making sure that every component works independently and give you a full report, a detailed report of it. So,
What is this little guy here? Is that connected to
Yes.
the panel somehow?
this is actually an inverter. It's the component that converts the electricity from DC to AC. Your home runs off of AC alternating current,
Okay.
where the panels generate direct current.
So every home that gets solar panels requires an inverter.
Yes, correct.
And does the size vary depending on how many panels they have?
Yeah, so you can have many different sizes, anywhere from a 3800 up to 11,400 or even bigger, and that's just the energy that the solar panels are producing, essentially.
Now, I heard that California, for those of you from California, now we have a law, right, that requires any new homes to have solar panels. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah, starting 2020, all new homes have to be built with solar.
And when that happens, does the builder determine how many panels, or who makes that decision?
The builder, basically, we set a few different packages. The builder will set a minimum package of, say, like a 3 kilowatt system, and then they'll come to us if they want to upgrade into larger systems.
The customer.
The customer or the builder,
Or the
whichever.
builder.
Yeah,
Okay.
I deal with both customers and builders that are in process of building homes, and yeah.
So the cost is already going to be in the cost of the home when the buyer goes to buy the home.
If they go through the builder, yes, they can have it all wrapped into their mortgage.
So what about maintenance? Would somebody like you be responsible, or would the builder be responsible down the line?
We're responsible for maintenance. We always take care of the maintenance of our customers.
Hi, Becky. Thanks for watching. Okay, so now here in the desert, which is where I live, would you say that this is just a no-brainer? Like, you've got to have...
Absolutely.
Okay, give us a good, flat, easy breezy reason. I mean, I know what I would think. But.
Well, I mean, we produce a lot of solar out here because we have a lot of sun. I mean, but the major thing is it's economics for you as a homeowner. As Edison rates are going up because there's taxes on the grid, it's better to go solar because you're in charge of the price of your electricity, but also in time it saves you tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 25-year period. So I think it is a no-brainer for anybody to go solar. We have many different options. You don't have to pay cash up front. You have financing and things like that. So yeah, I think it's absolutely important that everybody goes solar.
Now, I noticed also, and we've got 2 of these in our home, a battery. Explain the wonderful reason and need and why someone should have a battery, because you can choose not to have a battery,
Yes,
right? Okay.
absolutely. So yes, you can go with the panel-only system or a backup battery. The battery we use for mostly economics. Reason being is what's happening, and this is a Tesla Powerwall 2. It's one of the best on the market. It has an internal cooling system. It operates at 100% efficiency up to 120 degrees, so it's going to be pumping out all during the summer. The great thing about this is that between 4 and 9, when your high peak rates are, you're actually utilizing your battery power as opposed to grid stored power. So you're generating your excess, you're generating your power, your excess is being stored on the battery, and then when the high rates come, the battery is being used to cover that time frame as opposed to pulling it at 3 times the rate.
Now, I know we personally, down the line, we're going to most likely have an electric car in our family because we believe in clean energy too. But currently, we don't. And yet, we chose to get two. And can you explain why it's such a good idea to have batteries even if you don't have an electric car?
Yeah, so the battery, it works well with the rate plan, but also gives you the ability to back up your electricity should the power go out. With the power outages happening, especially lately, I mean, we've had a lot.
And we're planning some this week, I
exactly.
think.
What happens is each battery can back up a certain amount of breakers, and you choose, you can pick and choose whatever you'd like. Typically, we say a refrigerator, some Wi-Fi lights, maybe an AC if you need to, just to stay functional while the power is out. And depending on how much power you use, you can go anywhere from 12 to 24 hours on a battery. Typically, power longest outage we've had is like 11 hours, so it's really not too long. But you never know what happens. So
now, in a solar panel, give us the stages just real quickly. So you just don't send up a guy and say, okay, we're putting on the panels. There's different stages involved.
yes.
So what are the...
Well, what we do is I come out and go over, the solar system itself, get the information from you, and then I'll come back and talk to my design team, and we'll build a system proposal for you. From there, we send it over to the design team to get the rendering all set up. We'll send in the rendering and everything to the city for permits. And then once we get the permit, we actually will send roofers out to do the roof work. We will send the electricians out to do the electrical, and then the installers for the panels, and kind of go from there. And
so it's design work, it's talking with the customer, it's planning out how many, and then of course the maintenance will continue. So we're going to be buddies for a long time.
Correct.
I want to go to this wall and kind of give everyone that's watching an appreciation for the wonderful owner of this company, which by the name, again, his name is...
His name is Nate Otto. He's an amazing person.
Hi, Jason.
Is a huge humanitarian, and these are just a lot of the organizations that we work with in the desert. He's, like I said, a huge humanitarian, likes to donate money anywhere he can to whatever foundation possible.
So quite a few donations that everyone can see, all here in the Coachella Valley, because he loves to give back, help, which is one of the reasons he got into this business.
Yes.
And you mentioned out here, if for those of you that can't appreciate living in the desert, you're looking at it, it's just gorgeous today, even though we're really hot and going through a humid spell. Gary has a really fascinating story that really touches me, because I'm all about being a better person, extends out to the world and to the community. And so he has a story about this landscape that Warren is showing you and how that could have been compromised.
Yes.
So Warren will have Gary tell us that wonderful story.
A canyon back in South Palm Canyon called Oswald Canyon. It's was one of the last areas for the bighorn sheep to be mating and things.
And the bighorn sheep, you guys, that's like our...
It's huge.
It's huge, and it's like our, what would you say, our signature out here.
Yes.
Our signature connection to the environment. So
exactly.
Go ahead.
So there was a development plan to build, I think, up to 150 homes with a massive waterway installed that would have really just ruined everything out there, including the bighorn sheep habitat. So what we did was we worked with other foundations to raise money. I think we did raise $8 million. So we were a major driving force behind that, going into homes, even when we were talking about solar, talking to people about Oswald Canyon, just trying to make them aware of what's going on. So last year, I think it was in December, we made the $8 million that needed to be made and able to buy the land back from the developers, and now it's an untouched habitat.
It's going to be untouched. And I want to end this wonderful conversation that I've had. He hit on so many things. One, the willingness to connect with your environment, to be a better person. It requires an investment. Gary spent time, research. This was something he wanted. I'm sure they've given a lot more time to their customers than anyone I know of. And you can't put a value on that. And I am so about whatever you can invest to make yourself a better person in the mind, in the heart, in the soul, and in turn contribute to our earth and our planet. We're all better off for it. So this is why I am so blessed to have hot purple on my roof. And we'll look up there and remember remember, energy is what energy does. And energy that's hot, that's wonderful and positive is going to do nothing but good things in the world. Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.